the movie of Rudy's life after Dolemite, that's where the drama is. There's some comedy in there, but it's the drama.
But Rudy kind of like, just from what I researched, he got started with the records and doing comedy recordings.
Right. Yeah.
Were you like familiar with his work when you met him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Everybody who was from the hood knew of Rudy Ray Moore and Dolemite. You know, I knew of it. And again, he was making movies. The records was not a major concern because his record making and all of that was pretty much over. He was trying to do filmmaking. And, you know, and actually, when you see the movie Dolemite Is My Name,
yeah, my
story begins where Dolemite Is My Name ends. They end at the premiere of Dolemite.
Right.
Well, the movie of Rudy's life after Dolemite, that's where the drama is. There's some comedy in there, but it's the drama. And Eddie showed his dramatic side in Dolemite Is My Name, but I would love to do the sequel with Eddie. And knowing Rudy and having lived 25 years of my life with Rudy Ray Moore on the road, distributing his movies, producing, directing him, and us out, I saw the pain. See, and that's what I think that the audience really needs to know, is that when his career was fading, and why? Because in the movie, again, Dolemite Is My Name, they go to a distributor, Dimension Pictures. Dimension tells them that they believe that they have a market in the movie houses, in the black movie houses that are these palaces that used to be, and because the white audience has moved to suburbs. Well, what really killed Rudy Ray Moore's career and the empire that he had built and what he was doing, where he was trying to go, was the decline of the black movie houses. Okay. And when the studios and the megaplexes came about, when the studios started buying the theaters and the black movie houses couldn't get the prints, you know, so they kind of shut the black people out of the business, you know, so they were cutting us out of the movie business. That's what Rudy taught me. That's why when we go on the road and we four-wall movies around the country, I knew who the only black theater owners that were left around the country, in Chicago, in Houston, in New Orleans, you know, in the different cities. So we would world premiere his movies in, you know, 3 or 4 times around the country, you know, and how we would get the audience to come and see the movies and different things like that. So that was my life with Rudy Ray Moore, and to see his joy and his sadnesses.
When you guys are like on the road, like what was the game plan? Like, what was the hustle to it?
Oh, the hustle, man. The hustle was, well, what we would do, we would leave Los Angeles with one print in the back of his Cadillac.
Print, for those?
A print, yes.
What is?
For those that don't understand print, everything is digital now, but we would leave Los Angeles, we'd get a print, and that was the film. It had to go in the projector. It goes up in the booth. So we could only afford one print when we would leave Los Angeles. So we would leave and let's say we go to New Orleans, right? When we opened, I think the theater was the Orpheum. I believe, but downtown New Orleans, right? Well, we had a system. What we do is we go to the nightclubs, and I would book him at a nightclub, at one nightclub, and then somebody that we knew. We made a deal where they said we could get the movie, we could play the movie in the theater. So in order to get the audience, we would call the radio station, and I tell the radio station that we're going to be Rudy Ray Moore's in town, and we're going to be opening our new movie, you know, on Friday, and this is like on Monday, right? And so then they would say, I want to bring him by, and we'd give away some tickets, and they'd be like, oh yeah, bring him on by there. And so we go on the radio, and Rudy go in, and he'd do his thing, and he'd be telling jokes on drive time in the morning time, and then I would call the other radio station, the competition for that, and do the same thing. So they want to have him on Tuesday or on Wednesday.
Got you.
And then we go to the nightclubs. I call the nightclub owner and tell him, well, Dolemite's in town. I'll bring him by for $500 tonight, and da 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 da. So then we do that, and I call another nightclub across town and do the same thing. So we were playing the competition all at the same time. The town is buzzing about Dolemite being in town, and the movie's gonna open, and he's gonna be at this club. And we go to the nightclub, and at the nightclub we make $500 a night selling merchandise. I mean, the biggest seller, and I'll share this with you and the audience, is one of the most amazing things that I learned from Rudy Ray Moore on the Straight Out Hustle, right? Was we go to the swap meet during the daytime, and he'd buy 50 glass ashtrays he'd get these 50 ashtrays for $5, right? And then we go to what was a copy place, now it's Kinko's, right? And he would take his old movie posters and take pictures of him, and we Xerox them, right? And he'd make like 5 sheets and he'd sit in the motel room, because we couldn't afford hotels really, and cut out these pictures of his face, right? And he would take this ashtray, this glass ashtray, and some Elmer's glue, cut a picture of his face and glue it to the bottom of the ashtray. And then at night, at the nightclub, he'd sell the ashtray for $10, $5. Dolomite ashtrays, put your butt in my face. And boy, we would sell it. That, I know it sounds weird, but we sold tons and tons. It's hundreds of Dolemite ashtrays all across the country.
But it became a piece of his revenue.
That was his.
Was it helping fund the traveling?
That's right, merchandise. He would take cigarette lighters and stuff, and Elmer's glue picture of him on a Dolemite lighter.
Wow.
I mean,
Where do you think that hustle came from?
Survival, that Chitlin circuit type survival. Rudy was just he was a hustler.